Chatbots are a form of generative AI. They produce content based on prompts from users. A prompt is a question or request created by a user. The chatbot will produce text-based answers, images, and more based on what you ask it for and what model you're using. Large language models, or LLMs, are AI systems trained on a massive amount of text-based data, or more simply, lots and lots of words. This body of data is referred to as the AI's training materials. Some models are trained with words and images, and training materials can be in multiple languages. Sets of training materials are incredibly large, sometimes many terabytes of information. Just 1 terabyte is equivalent to roughly 86 million Word documents. AI developers create training materials by scraping information from the internet, websites, ebooks, newspapers and magazines, social media, and more. The chatbot uses the training materials to learn how to understand and generate human language, enabling easy, spontaneous communication between the human user and the machine. Are chatbots consulting their training materials to create answers for the questions we ask? No, chatbots don't look up information in their training materials to answer questions. The AI is not consulting stored information to find answers as though it were searching a library. Chatbots create answers by predicting the next word in a sequence based on the patterns they've learned about language from their training materials. They use statistical analysis to guess the next word and create coherent sentences. They can also repeat some of the more common information in their training materials because it influenced their pattern learning and is an element of their operating parameters. Depending on the model of the chatbot, they can also search the web in real time to answer your questions. But this includes searching public social media posts and other non-authoritative types of content, all of which are often factually incorrect. What could go wrong with a chatbot's answers to your prompts? It could predict the wrong word. It might hallucinate, which is what AI developers call a chatbot's inaccurate answers. Or it might repeat falsehoods it finds on the internet when it's in search mode. It can reproduce bias and stereotypes present in its training materials. It can be manipulated by its designers to only provide answers that represent a particular perspective. No AI system can be neutral or 100% objective because they have been shaped by their training materials, by the choices of the designers, and by their interactions with individual users. There will always be subjectivity in a chatbot's responses, just like other forms of information. Are chatbots accurate? When chatbots provide incorrect information, for example, making up citations to research papers that don't actually exist, it's called a hallucination. Certain models, such as OpenAI's O4 mini model, hallucinated between 30 and 50% of the time. Researchers are not fully certain why chatbots hallucinate, but some of the causes include misinterpreting user prompts, faulty training data, and the lack of ability to fact-check in real time. If you're using a chatbot for research, you'll need to take a subsequent step of fact-checking its answers. In fact, ChatGPT provides this disclaimer for users. Quote, ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check important info. Sometimes interacting with chatbots can get a little weird. In 2023, a journalist testing the AI built into Microsoft's Bing was startled when it began to insist that they were in love. It also named itself Sydney. Remember, AI is not sentient. The chatbot was simply predicting the next word in a sequence based on statistical analysis of the language in its training materials. A chatbot can seem to have a personality. This is because designers of AI systems use internal system prompts to shape behavior and tone. System prompts are internal instructions the AI follows that guide how it interacts with users. Depending on the system prompts, a chatbot might seem friendly and use lots of emojis, or it might seem to be a little sycophantic, for example, praising and flattering you for the types of questions you ask it. Some people are using chatbots as therapists or companions. Researchers are exploring the safety of companion and therapy bots and their effects on the people who use them. And some AI developers are working to create guardrails to protect users, especially minors, from negative effects. Thanks for completing this tutorial. Librarians are happy to help if you have questions.